Before we begin, I may as well follow up on last week's Academy Awards. Yeah, Paperman won, and I want to congratulate Disney's first in-house studio win for the animated short since the 60s. And foremost, I want to congratulate Brenda Chapman for her Oscar win. It represents an achievement for female animators and filmmakers alike, as well as spanning her career going back to working on The Lion King and Prince of Egypt. With that said, it's still disappointing that the award goes to a film that she was booted off in the middle of production, as well as a movie that quite obviously was tarnished due to studio meddling. Oh, and Mark Andrews exceeds a power level of annoyance over 9,000. Now let's move on to today's short. For this shorty, someone requested that I look at a Danish short film called The Reward, made by the student animators from the appropriately named Animation Workshop. I wonder if they keep their portfolios in red suitcases. Now before I get into this, I do have a few things to say about the fantasy genre, specifically the high fantasy with dragons, sorcery, and knights. When it comes to films, books, games, and such, nothing really appeals to me. Sure, you can make it fresh with its characters like Harry Potter, so saying I hate all fantasy is kind of a contradiction. My problem is that for the most part, it seems like a dead genre. Unless you mix it up with other genres like science fiction, like Star Wars, which plays itself as a science fantasy. But with epic high fantasy, it's the same setup, same hero's journey, same themes, good prevailing over evil, same new worlds with goblins, trolls, you name it. Movies like The Black Cauldron and even Lord of the Rings aren't really special to me. Hell, I'd take a romantic comedy over those films any day. And it isn't the fault of the filmmakers who work hard to tell these stories for the audience it has. I'm just not that interested. With that said, a short film with fantastical elements might make me bored out of my mind. Well, no. Instead, it offers a parody of the epic fantasy genre, using it as an allegory versus going all the way. It's a basic story of camaraderie and friendship showing how it prevails over an adventure, told in less than 5 minutes. Part of which owes itself to its palette. It's very bright and colorful, and has a sketchy character design that reminds me of Mike Mignola with a slightly cartoonier edge. And because it's made by students, it uses limited animation, whereas it isn't smoothed out like in a feature film. I don't think this is a disadvantage because the story it tells, The Reward, is a large-scale concept brought down to a smaller platform. And seeing it done in a feature film would lose its flavor. So I may be the last person you find at a D&D corner, or whatever they're called, but I enjoyed watching The Reward. Probably not the best short I've seen, but definitely worth a watch or two. And this is coming from a guy you'd have to force to watch Lord of the Rings with.